I never was much of a morning person until I figured out my $1 million morning routine. And I'm so passionate about the way it's changed everything about my entire day. So I want to share exactly what I do in the morning to just make myself have the most productive day. Welcome back to my channel. My name is JoAnna. I'm a 42-year-old toddler mom and an entrepreneur with a passion for holistic living. So I am probably one of the last people that I ever thought would be on a YouTube video preaching about waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I used to wake up at this hour for work, not by choice, but that was, I had a 6:30 a.m. start time in New York City, so that was part of my grind back then. Now I actually set this alarm no matter what I'm doing the night before or where I'm at. Tomorrow I'm going on a trip, I'm leaving, I have a 7 a.m. car to the airport, and just to get everything in, I'm waking up at 4:30 tomorrow to follow my daily routine. So what exactly is it that helps me to feel my best? So first off, I find that very successful people, when you read about them, what the majority of them do is wake up early because it gives them an edge up on everything, right? In my case, I'm trying to beat my toddler. So she wakes up at 7 typically, and my husband will stay in bed with her so that I can escape and go to the gym and get my things in order. But for most people, it's just the mental clarity. You're not getting bombarded with emails. Like, I was trying to film this video a little bit later in the day than I should have today. And the phone is going off, the work, the chaos, it's all rolling in. So waking up before everyone else is getting a jump on their day just puts you ahead of the game right off the bat. But a lot of people can do that. And I don't think that that's really going to make you feel your best, because if you're feeling tired and sluggish, then you're probably not going to get as much done as you would like. So here are the things that I do that really optimize my health, wellness, and just give me this boost of energy that is just so tangible. So as soon as I wake up, I jump in the shower. I like to just shower first thing in the morning. So I do that initially, and you're probably thinking, okay, that's not really that special, JoAnna, but it is the first step of my morning routine, followed immediately by these perfect amino electrolytes, which I absolutely love. So I used to jump right into coffee. I am a big coffee drinker. I probably drink about 4 shots of espresso a day on average. I do space them out, but I used to just dive right into coffee thinking that that was what would fuel me. And the more research I did on it, they say that it spikes your cortisol. It's not so great for your gut. And I really do believe that. So before I get into my morning coffee, which is a favorite, it's a non-negotiable, I'm not giving it up, but I start with this perfect amino electrolytes. And this is Gary Brecka's line. This flavor that I have in my hand happens to be the lemon lime. It comes in different flavors. I do personally like the passion fruit the best. I'm out of stock on that at the moment. Right off the bat, you're giving yourself hydration with water. But what is in this electrolyte mix is what I really like. So it's got magnesium, zinc, sodium, and potassium. So these are all things you might already be deficient in. So you're packing them right into your morning, starting your day off. It's got trace minerals and it has no added sugar. So this to me will just kind of bring me up to speed, so to say. So if I'm a little sluggish in the morning, I take 1 scoop of this, put it in the water. By the time I'm done drinking that water, I'm already feeling a lot better. And you can work this in throughout the day. So I like to do it first thing in the morning, but sometimes if you need a midday pick-me-up, this is also really good for you. If you have had a few drinks and you're feeling a little bit hungover, I do find that this will help with that as well. So this is definitely a product that I absolutely love and recommend. You should incorporate it throughout your day, morning, whenever it may work for you, because this will make you just feel better, and there's just nothing but good ingredients in it. Okay, so getting back to the part of my morning routine where most people think I'm crazy, and it's actually my favorite part. So I am lucky enough to live in a building that has a sauna and a cold plunge. So I do the sauna usually just to warm my body up, because I'm a believer in contrast therapy. And exactly what that means is I'm using the sauna to make myself feel even more cold when I get into my 43-degree cold plunge. So my building has it set somewhere between 41 to 43 degrees any given day. And I do this for about 3 minutes. And the first time I got in this water, I thought to myself, this is crazy. I've literally ran away from the cold my entire life. I moved out of New York to escape the cold, and now I am putting myself in cold water first thing in the morning. Well, here's why. The endorphin rush that I feel after this is just crazy. And I'm going to go into the next step of my morning routine after this, which involves a workout. So the cold plunge is essentially my warm up for my workout, because it's just prepping my body so that I can go into that workout and give it my absolute all. And the more research I've done on it, it really shows that this will also help you to reduce inflammation, which I believe. And it also helps me because I train really hard in the gym. I actually train 7 days a week. And for me, I don't really have any muscle soreness or tension. And I am a big believer that this sauna cold plunge therapy is a major factor in that. So if you like to train hard, I think you will find some benefit in that. Athletes have used this for many years. I know my friends friends that have played football and things like that, they've told me that they've done cold plunges way before they became really trendy. So if you can either find a place that has one or set it up in your bathtub, bring in the ice or just take an ice cold shower, whatever it is that you have access to, I think you can make it work for you. And I think once you get over the fear factor and just kind of embrace it, which is how I started this, you will find that you are hooked. Because on the days when I don't use it for whatever reason, whether I'm traveling or, something went wrong with the one in my building and I can't do it that day, it really, I feel the difference. So I'm a big believer in the cold plunge therapy. It's a must. It's a game changer for me. I guarantee if you try it and you just mentally can get through that, and that's another thing that I love about it, it's the mental fortitude that you build around it, you will feel better. So you just have to get over that initial fear. And the way someone broke it down for me the first time I went into it was the first minute is the worst minute. So that first initial shock is going to be like this rush to your system. And then if you can just tell yourself, I'm going to be okay, I promise you the last, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however long you decide to stay in it. I think most studies say that, anything under 5 minutes will do you right. There's really no reason to go beyond that. You'll certainly feel a difference. And that has just been my experience with it. So it's a non-negotiable for me. It's something that I do absolutely every day that I can. And again, even if you want to just ease your way into this, try taking your shower, making it really hot, and then going from hot to the extreme cold just to get that contrast therapy. See if you feel a difference and start with that. So to dial this back into something that I believe anybody can do at home and feel a big benefit from, the next step in the $1 Million Morning routine for me is this protein hack here that I absolutely love. So we're going back to Gary Brecka's brand, this BodyHealth Perfect Amino. This is a vanilla flavor. It comes in mocha and different, variations that you can try. But this is going to give you 29 grams of protein in one scoop without breaking a fast. So I was putting this in water or also taking it in pill form, which is available as well. But what I like about this one scoop here is I put it in my morning coffee and it just makes it taste better. It completely dissolves in the coffee. It doesn't have like a thick or weird consistency or anything like that. It blends seamlessly in your coffee. So I have an espresso machine at home. It's just super easy for me when I'm in a rush in the morning trying to jam all this stuff in because it is a lot, I know. So I make my 2 shots of espresso. I put a tiny splash of raw milk. I've become a big believer in this raw milk. I did a lot of research on that as well. That's a whole other topic, but put a little splash of raw milk just to give my coffee a little bit of flavor, I guess. I don't like to just drink it straight black. And then I mix 1 scoop of this vanilla in. This is blend of aminos and it's the equivalent of 29 grams of protein, which is like having 10 eggs. So, that's some powerful stuff right there. And it actually tastes really good and enhances the taste of your coffee. So I think you should definitely give this a try. I'll link this in the description box, but I am a big fan of the Perfect Amino protein boosted coffee. And again, you're not breaking a fast or adding any calories, especially if you do the coffee black, but I just do the splash of milk as I mentioned. So if we were keeping timestamps on all this, I just want to backtrack a little bit. So the wake up time is generally around 5:30. By the time I take a shower, get dressed, go down to the cold plunge with my electrolytes already in me, we're looking at about 6 a.m. The morning coffee is going to be at about 6:20, and then I'm ready for training at 6:30. So I do have a gym in the building where I live. I make sure to get down there every single day. I use my Apple Watch for accountability. I try to burn at least 300 active calories. I do a mix of strength training and some cardio. I'm a big fan of the Stairmaster. Some days I just need to run on the treadmill, so I'll mix it up. I use the ski erg and whatever else is available in my gym, the rower sometimes. So it's definitely a mix of strength training with some cardio. And a few times a week, I do really believe in the power of using a trainer or some kind of group fitness class to hold you accountable as well. So I have a great trainer who I work with. He actually helped me lose the 50 pounds that I put on during my pregnancy. So that took me about 8 months to shake off. So we trained throughout my pregnancy, after my pregnancy, and he keeps me on a good routine now. I just think that the accountability is so important, especially if there's a morning where you're feeling tired or there's just something that gets in your way. For me, if I'm paying for a session, I never miss a session. So it is worth the fee that I pay to have someone come to me and just push me extra hard. And I do just want to backtrack because going back to this Perfect Amino here, this vanilla flavor that I use, if you're not a coffee drinker, it actually also blends really well in matcha. Matcha's not really my thing, but some days I try to mix it up just to get, the antioxidants and the benefits of matcha. So Perfect Amino also can blend really well in matcha or even smoothies and things like that. But for me, that morning boost that I'm looking for from my coffee, this is the move. So after my training, which is typically about an hour, then it is around 7:30 and I go back upstairs to walk my French bulldog. So he is my number one pal and I really look forward to our walks. So I think that if you have a dog, it's a great way to go outside and, maybe if you don't have access to the gym, this could be even part of your way of getting steps and some movement in. So for me, I take my dog on usually a 20-minute morning walk after this. And what I'm really trying to do is make sure that I get out there in the sunshine, because the more and more I read about it, it's so important for you to get that morning light in your eyes, no sunglasses. So walking my dog, I think, is also an added health benefit for me. So it just forces me to get out there in the sunshine. Thankfully, I live in LA. It's sunny almost every day here. And even if you're out there in the clouds, they say it's just so important because getting that morning sunlight will regulate your body for the rest of the day. So there's all kinds of studies on this, and the more and more research I'm doing, and even in my own personal experience, I just did another round of lab testing with a company called Superpower, and some of my hormones and levels were a little bit less than what they should be, or they were just a little bit off. And they suggested in the report that I get after running these labs that I do, which I talk about in another video, but they're super important because you can identify deficiencies. And one of the things that they suggested was me getting out and getting that morning sunshine and making sure that I do that every day, because we are trying to balance out my cortisol, and that morning sunshine is key in doing that for you. And it also helps with your sleep later. So again, if you can go out and just get like 20 to 30 minutes in the sunshine, for me, I have to walk my dog anyway, so it's just extra exercise, extra steps, and just all around wellness boost. So instead of just jumping into breakfast, which is something I used to do, I think back in the day, there used to be a lot of misconceptions about, what you should eat for breakfast. And I know growing up, we used to eat cereals and all of these things that, looking back, probably weren't that great for you. All these cereals with added sugars, we're way beyond that now. By the time I've done all these things, which is, we're already pretty much 2 hours into the morning, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. And I've been really mindful of what I've been eating lately. So I share a lot of recipes on my blog, but just to keep it simple, especially because I'm kind of running out of time at this point. I have a toddler that I have to get ready for school. So what I need to do is just make a healthy breakfast that is quick and easy. So one of my go-tos is just straight up scrambled eggs. So I love eggs. I enjoy eating them. I put a little bit of this Erewhon salsa that I've been into lately, but whatever you need to do to, make the eggs a little bit more appealing to you, whether it's salsa or, adding in some veggies or something like that, I'm all for it. But I think the key thing here is to not spike your cortisol. Again, what I used to do when I was struggling with my weight loss after pregnancy was I used to grab the easy, quick thing, right? It might have been a bagel, it might have been a croissant or something like that. And these things are not going to get you in, the great shape that we're trying to be in if you're watching this far into my video. So the optimal breakfast for me would be something like eggs with maybe a piece of toast on the side and some avocado. What I also learned through my lab testing is even though I supplement with vitamin D, I take about 5,000 as far as a dose of vitamin D daily, which I thought was pretty high. My vitamin D levels were still not optimal. They're in the normal range, but I really want to get them in the optimal range because it's just so important from a health perspective all around. But one of my lab report findings was that my vitamin D is not where it should be, and that may be because of absorption. So when you want to get the vitamin D, when you really want to max out whatever it is, if you're getting it from the sun or if you're getting it from supplements, there are certain ways to have your vitamin D levels optimized. So what I have learned recently is you want to make sure that when you take vitamin D, it is with a meal that's centered around a healthy fat, and also with something like vitamin K, or if you're deficient in magnesium, it could also slow down the vitamin D absorption. So around this time when I'm having this healthy breakfast is when I'm going to try to take some of these supplements that I'm a big fan of. And supplements for me, they might vary day to day, but I do love a good multivitamin. As I mentioned, vitamin D, zinc, some things that I've been deficient in. Lately, I've been a little bit low in iron, so I've been working that into my routine. I also have been taking creatine, so that I think is really important for overall health and wellness. So I can dive into my supplements. I can, lay them out for you. There's probably about 20 of them that I'm at every day, but I think having them with the right food is key. Otherwise, taking all the vitamins in the world probably is going to get you as far as you'd like. Another easy go-to breakfast or midday snack for me is always a smoothie. I love love making smoothies at home. I pop some really good ingredients in a NutriBullet. One of my go-tos will be banana, almond milk. I use this clean brand called Malk. I recently found out that they came out with a pumpkin spice flavor that is completely clean ingredients. So I'm going to do a whole video on my pumpkin spice smoothie. It's loaded with superfoods. Make sure to check that out, but I will link some recipes below. I can teach you how to build a smoothie that if you were to order at any fancy smoothie bar would probably run you up somewhere around $30 with all the ingredients that they would charge you for. But at home, you can make this and it's quick, it's efficient, it's loaded with superfoods. So some of the things I'll throw in my smoothie might be chia seeds or flax seeds for fiber. I also throw in a very clean marine-based collagen that I love, dates, peanut butter. I use a clean protein brand called Truvani. So every day it might be a little bit different, but just having that NutriBullet and all those healthy foods around make it for a really powerful smoothie that can help you get a lot of nutrients in and just keep fueling you off that energy that you've been building all morning. So after you've set yourself up for success like this in the morning, I think that it really motivates you to continue those habits of excellence throughout the day. It helps make me super productive. It makes me not want to eat the bad food after I've invested so much in my health and wellness before 9 a.m. So keep up the good work throughout the day. Make sure that you optimize your sleep because there's just no way you're going to feel good about waking up at 5:30 in the morning if you're going to bed at 11 o'clock at night or out drinking and doing things that, we all know they might be fun here and there, but day to day, they're just not going to help you feel your best. But if you are like me and you start stacking these wellness habits, you'll start to look back at the things you did in the past and wonder how you ever did them because you realize that they really were not that great for you. And if you are just like me trying to stay fit in your 40s or wherever you're at in life, I promise you that even just implementing a couple of these things in your day-to-day, you will see such a big change if you just stay consistent with them. In my next video, I'm going to share all of my favorite fall recipes. I've got a few go-tos that are always crowd pleasers. They're super easy to make, so make sure to tune in for the next one. And if there's any part of my morning routine that you have questions on, just let me know. I'd be happy to dive into any of these topics with you. Also, thank you for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I love sharing everything that has helped me on my health and wellness journey, so I will be putting out a lot more videos. Let me know in the comments what I can help you with. I am always happy to answer your questions.